Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day, wherever you are around the world. And how are we? Hopefully, everyone's good. Hopefully, everyone's well. Welcome back to our match preview show for, of course, the Champions League second leg tie against PSG, which, of course, again, does come thick and fast after, of course, we did beat Southampton on the weekend, of course. But again, look, it is probably the biggest week of the season, of course, considering, again, obviously such a tough game against PSG, and of course, the Carabao Cup final on Sunday as well. But let me know how all of you are in the comments down below as well. Let me know again your guys' thoughts in the comments section down below. Are you excited? Are you nervous? Of course, for the PSG game. But we're going to be talking a little bit just before, of course, we get into the preview. Of course, obviously we'll talk about the kit deal that did get announced today. If you guys haven't seen the video that was on the channel earlier, go and check it out, of course. But we will talk about, of course, the new Adidas deal that did get announced today, which, of course, I think a lot of people on Twitter was excited about, as well as the possibilities, of course, of retro kits as well, and the thought process of having Adidas back, I think, as well. Very much excited, a lot of people, judging it off Twitter anyway. We'll also discuss as well Milos Kerkez as well. We'll talk about what Fabrizio Romano had to say about him very quickly. And then, of course, we'll talk about PSG, and, of course, their antics as well. Like I put right there, PSG Anfield awaits, which they do as well. And, of course, like I did say, it is probably the biggest week of the season so far, of course, considering, again, obviously or the second leg, I should say, of the Champions League, and, of course, the League Cup final next week as well anyway. But again, let me know how all of you are in the comments down below. Of course, let me know your score predictions as well if you're watching on the repeat as well, because I know there are plenty that do watch on the repeat as well anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments at least anyway. But yeah, let's just dive straight into it then and talk about this new partnership. Liverpool and Adidas, of course, are back together once again. Obviously, I think the last time Liverpool was sponsored by any Adidas product, I think, was back in 2011-12 season, I believe it was. But again, that's a very, very long time ago. Of course, we've had a lot of other sponsors in that time, considering we've had Warrior, we've had New Balance, we've had Nike, of course. Obviously, Adidas was fighting with Nike in 2019 to try and get Liverpool, but Nike ended up winning, of course. Obviously, that deal, obviously the previous 5-year deal, was, of course, £30 million up front, and 20%, I believe it was, of any items sold, which, of course, for Liverpool, that does get you a lot of money, let's be perfectly honest. But of course, it is a guaranteed 60 million a year, multi-year deal, I should say. It's not just a 1-year thing. Of course, it is a multi-year deal. It is believed to be 5 years, which I think is pretty standard for a new kit supplier anyway. But I do think there are extras with this that will take it up to over 100 million. I don't know whether or not if that's specifically, obviously, Liverpool winning things and so on. Of course, that's in the contract. Of course, we found out a couple of weeks back from James Pearce that, again, Liverpool will earn, I think it's up to £2 million for just winning the Premier League. I don't know whether or not, again, you get more for winning the Champions League or anything else in that particular order. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Of course, this is the rumoured kit, or home kit, I should say, for next season. Of course, does give Fernando Torres vibes. I'm not going to lie. Of course, Steven Gerrard and Fernando Torres in this kit was unbelievable. But yeah, that is supposedly meant to be the brand new kit for next season. Of course, the home kit, you guys would have seen the leaks, of course, especially the third kit as well, which looks absolutely unbelievable. Let's be honest. But look, I'm excited, and hopefully, we'll have better kits than the Nike period, because I think we had decent kits, but not, again, I personally prefer Adidas, always have. But again, other people might prefer Nike. I saw in the comments of our post about the contract, about the Adidas deal, the fact that people, again, like Under Armour, which again I found that a bit weird, but still that's just personal preference, of course. Anyway, but again, let me know your guys' thoughts about, of course, the Adidas deal. On paper, it looks way better for Liverpool as well, but again, considering the fact that Nike deal was kind of groundbreaking at the time, again, of course, obviously it had to be miles better for Liverpool, of course, anyway. But we will move on and we'll talk about this man. We'll talk about Milos Kerkez, of course, had a very good performance against Spurs, didn't he, on the weekend? Of course, got that assist, that beautiful cross. Then again, should have realistically won Bournemouth the game anyway. But again, of course, Bournemouth fans won't like us talking about that. And they might not like Liverpool fans talking about Milos Kerkez, of course. It does seem like he will leave Bournemouth at the end of the season. And Fabrizio Romano has had his thoughts and saying, of course, on him potentially joining Liverpool. Now, this is taken from an article piece, as well as you can see, but and it is highlighted, of course. Fabrizio Romano, Arne Slot approves Milos Kerkez signing. Now, as part of the latest Fabrizio Romano for Give Me Sport, Arne Slot has given his approval for the transfer of Kerkez in the summer transfer window. He states that the Reds' interest in the player is genuine, and contact is expected to be identified in the coming weeks or the coming months. Sorry, of course, he does say that, that is highlighted. He said it's not something guaranteed or agreed at this stage. It's still early, but Liverpool want to bring in a new left back in the summer, as well as a new centre back. And Kerkez is one of three main names on that shortlist already approved by Arne Slot. Contacts are expected to follow and continue in the next months. Liverpool's interest is genuine and concrete, as the world class, obviously in brackets, Kerkez is attracted by Champions League football for his future, and there's a chance to make a deal happen this summer. Now we wait for the next weeks to understand when and how the contact will continue. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Would you like Milos Kerkez at Liverpool? For me, absolutely. I would love him at Liverpool. I think he is the ideal Andy Robertson replacement if you're going to replace that type of profile, of course. Obviously, I think a lot of names flying around in recent times, of course, Joel Hatto being one, Milos Kerkez being another. But I'm very intrigued to know who that third person is on the short list that, again, Fabrizio Romano did talk about. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. I think it is very interesting to, again, identify who that could possibly be. Is it somebody we've already been linked with this season? Again, I'm not too sure. But again, I think the signing of Kerkez would be an unbelievable signing. I think that it was reported as well that it could be around 45 million pounds, which, in the going rate of today is a pretty good deal in terms of, again, the Premier League proven, again, the quality level as well from Milos Kerkez. He is going to be the next best left back probably in the Premier League. It's probably been him, Lewis Hall this season. I think Anthony Robinson as well is also another one. But considering the fact I think Kerkez is only 22, I believe, 21, around there. Like, again, there is plenty more that he can get better at. And already the base of him is already a really good player. Of course, and it should be a very good deal, of course, considering the fact that, of course, Richard Hughes, ex connections with Bournemouth. Of course, I don't know, I'm not too sure if Richard Hughes did sign him at Bournemouth. I'd be very intrigued as well. But of course, there is rumours that Liverpool have liked Milos Kerkez since 2024. So again, we'll have to wait and see whether or not Liverpool do actually go and get him and do make it concrete. But I think it'll be a perfect Andy Robertson replacement for me, at least anyway. I don't know about you guys in the comments, but I do think it would be a very good signing for Liverpool. I really do. And one that, again, shows intent, in terms of, again, the Premier League race, in terms of the Champions League race, getting a like-for-like replacement, Andy Robertson. I think, of course, Arne Slot would ideally love that. Of course, and no, look, let us know your guys' thoughts on, does Milos Kerkez sign for Liverpool next season as well. I'll be very intrigued to know your guys' thoughts, of course. But big up Tony as well, saying definitely I'd try and get a Hatto as well. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think both, of course, both would 100% be great for Liverpool. Of course, Hatto does 2-in-1, really, doesn't he? In terms of, again, can be a centre back, can be a full back. would give then probably Arne Slot a lot to think about then in terms of just pure fullback. I think you could 100% see a world where Liverpool set up as a back three, in possession, Kanate, Van Dijk, Hato, or again, you have that overlapping fullback in Milos Kerkez, because at the moment for Bournemouth, he's been nothing but brilliant. But of course, his family is a huge Manchester United supporters, which is the shame with that anyway. But big up Damo as well, saying of the rumoured left backs linked to Liverpool, Kerkez is right up there in terms of pace, physicality, and attacking ability. Yeah, absolutely would agree with you on that. Anyway, but again, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. But we will now get into the PSG preview, of course. Obviously we are a week on now from that game in Paris, and look, I think all of us again have PTSD of Alisson Becker making another save for Liverpool, and look, I think it will be a very interesting game. I think it'll be a lot different compared to what we saw in Paris. Obviously PSG will, of course, try and cause us problems, and of course they got to try and get back in the game. Obviously they are 1-0 down from the first leg, but and I've got it by here in terms of PSG Anfield awaits, because I feel like there's been a lot of disrespect, I think, over the last week. I don't think it's from Liverpool's end personally. I think it's very much from PSG's camp, and how they've kind of reacted since losing. Like, let's be honest, they played unbelievably a week ago. They were very, very good, and it's kind of like the reaction to them losing. Again, they again wasn't good enough to punish Liverpool. Again, obviously that's down, to be fair, to again a very, very good Alisson Becker performance, probably the best in his Liverpool career. But it's the fact, again, if that's their best and they didn't score, then if they have a bad moment in the game, what's that going to cause for Liverpool? And I think, the difference is Anfield. Of course, Liverpool will be more on the front foot. We're not going to be so much defensive, I would say, at Anfield. I think the crowd won't allow that personally. But again, obviously you have to be wary of the team. Obviously they've got, the attacking ability like we saw last week, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Barcola. Of course they've got is it Dewey as well, who plays like as a midfielder, but kind of as an attacker as well. Of course, PSG fans seem to think that this is that they can, make it easy, which again, I think it is disrespectful. I think, like, Liverpool have been the best team in Europe. You look at just the pure look at it this season, where Liverpool have been against Real Madrid, we've been against Manchester City, we've been against PSG, we've been against Bayer Leverkusen, and we've not conceded a single goal from playing any of them. And look, we've played Manchester City twice this season. Real Madrid, I know Real Madrid didn't have everybody, but again, PSG didn't concede. By Leverkusen, they had everybody, didn't concede against them. Like, that's the thing for Liverpool, where I don't think we're being given enough credit really for how we've been this season. And I think, look, I think PSG, they have to come at us because they need to overturn, of course, the result. But also, I feel like Liverpool will be able to get at them a lot more than what we did in the first game. But then look at that. One chance we had, we scored from it. Realistically, if Mo Salah could have passed, we would have been 2-0 up as well. But look, that's the only bad thing I will say about Mo Salah this season anyway. But Tony says, I'm worried is if we play our usual high line, they're very quick on the counter attack. Yeah, and that is a worry, and again, look at their forward players. I think look at their midfield as well, and I think last week we played a midfield that, again, it is very, very good, and the fact that they're not even playing like a Zayed Emery, for example. They're not even playing other players in the midfield. Like, I don't even think we saw Fabian Ruiz last week in Paris. I'm double checking now if we did see him at some point last week. But Yeah, no, we did. He did start the game. I forgot that he started. But even still, like Vitinha last week, he was amazing against us. Joe Neves the same as well. But still, that front three of Dembele, Barcola, and Kvaratskhelia. Again, you have to be on it. And we saw a couple of times Andy Robertson getting done by Kvaratskhelia, and you thought, oh, Jesus Christ, this is going to be a very long day. Even Dembele did him a few times. I think Trent, I think I said it last week after the game, it didn't feel like Trent had a good game, but then rewatching the game back, I was like, do you know what? I'll take that back. I thought Trent defensively did very well. Did get caught once or twice, but still, that's expected. But still was a very good performance defensively. And if he has that same type of performance again, like, look, I think he'll do tremendously well. But I think obviously for us and talking on a Liverpool point of view, of course, we have to look at it and we have to get at PSG. If Liverpool get an early goal, you'd think then the tie is done. Of course, you can't think that automatically because, again, look, even being 2-0 up, again, you a lapse in concentration, and we could easily be behind. But I do think as well, obviously a lot of PSG fans were like, oh, Mo Salah did nothing in the first leg. And to be fair, they are kind of right. PSG did find a way of stopping Mo Salah in Paris, and they did. You can't turn around and say they didn't. But I think what is so good on the Liverpool side of things is we had the idea of absorbing all the pressure from PSG. And all right, there was a few times we got lucky with a few things in terms of getting away with things. But I just feel like there was the game plan at one point that Arne Slot went, right, we're gonna take it all in, and then we're gonna go on the counter attack. And the substitutions of again bringing on Harvey, bringing on Darwin Núñez, bringing on Curtis Jones, and bringing on Endo as well, I think was huge for us. And I think that was a great sign of, again, what Liverpool were planning to do. One counter-attack, and we end up scoring from it and now gaining a lead, which I think everybody in Europe now thinks Liverpool are going to go through. And of course, on a Liverpool point of view, we have a confidence that Liverpool are going to go through. But again, we're not arrogant about it in terms of, oh, it's at Anfield, we're going to go through easily. No, like PSG are a very, very good team. Arne Slot said it once again, they've compared, PSG have had a go at Liverpool in many ways where they're like, oh, well, Liverpool weren't as good as Arsenal or Bayern Munich in this campaign. And it's like, sure, lads, you tell yourselves that. Like, you're a very good team, but Liverpool have been the best team in Europe this season, and pretty much outsmarted you in your own backyard, which I think is hilarious, really. But look, that's just me. Anyway, but let me know again your guys' thoughts in the comments. But bigger bands as well. Hope you're doing well, mate. Saying hi, mate. Tony says, would you play Núñez, Diaz, and Salah bypass their midfield, play balls over the top? Yeah, like I can go now to my start 11 predictions if you want, but I did go, and again, this is if everybody's fit. That's the team I've gone for if everybody's fit, which again, Cody Gakpo is probably a push at it, to be fair, in terms of starting 11 predictions. I did go with Jota again because I think, and the only reason why I've done it is because I think Darwin Núñez, you can bring him on late, and that's just then like another threat to think about, really, which is probably a mistake, to be fair. Now I actually, was thinking about it. Maybe Darwin does start, maybe we do go balls over the top and try and, as I take the banner away, and we do try and do that maybe. But I think that the team pretty much writes itself, really, isn't it? But I do think it's very much the case of back four's the same, Alisson, Trent, Canate, Van Dijk, Robbo. Midfield the same, even though they did struggle a bit, didn't they? On the weekend, Curtis Jones, his attitude wasn't really the best. Him, you've got Szoboszlai as well. Again, was pretty knackered, to be fair. And again, I don't have a go at Szoboszlai because of how good he's been over the last couple of weeks. I think in particular as well, him having to play game after game after game, I think did catch up to him on the weekend. But I think again against PSG, I think you'll need that energy in the midfield, because if we don't have it, that's going to be such a weakness for us, in my opinion, anyway. But I'd go Maka, I'd go Grav, Maka, and Dom. That would be my midfield three. And then bring on the best midfielder in the world in Wataru Endo in about the 70th minute. And just shut the game down. Be winning and just shut the game down. That's all you need. This is all you need, is just to shut everything down with Wataru Endo. But no luck. And then the front three, Mo obviously starts. Cody, if he's fit enough to start, I'd start him 100%. And then striker, I don't know, it's a mix up between Jota and obviously Darwin. I have seen a lot of people suggest Liverpool should go with the 2 10s. I think that made sense last week. I don't think that makes sense now. Certainly at home, I don't think it makes sense. I wouldn't personally start Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones in the 2 10s personally. I think you can do that away from home. I don't think you can do it. You can do it away from home. You can't do it at home. Then let's just say that. Tickets gone on for sale for our game. DM me after to see if you. I'll message you, Ant. Thank you for that. Let's hope we get the win. So we get the win tomorrow. Let's smash them as well. Big up Jack as well. Hopefully. Do you think our midfield struggles more because of how we set up? A little bit. I think sometimes, like, kind of how over the last couple of years, I don't know, I'd say yes and no. I think with certain systems, I think us going to a 4-3-3 like normally would, 2 8s and a 6. I think that would make a lot of sense sometimes. Like, I think last week we kind of didn't really do it. But in certain games it works perfectly. Like, again, when you've got Dom pressing with the striker, and then you've got Maka and you've got Gravenberch pressing in behind, I'm pushing the whole team up, like, that works at times. But also that you can get very much caught out by doing that, and then the midfield looks so exposed, and it has done at times this season. We've last week probably we even pressed a couple of times against PSG. Our whole team looked like it was pretty much the whole PSG team against our back four. And at times we can't get caught out with that, but whether or not that's down to setup or whether or not that's just due to the pressing, and in terms of the counter pressing and who starts it, again, that does differ as well. But again, we'll have to wait and see what the lineup is tomorrow, of course, anyway. But pick up Tony for the question anyway. But how do you think we can best beat this PSG side? Any weaknesses to them? I think to be fair, the centre backs for me. You look at last week, the one time we got at them was in a header, which was a 50-50. But I do think their weak link, I do think, is the centre backs. I don't think Marquinhos. I think Marquinhos is past it now, and obviously Pacho. I don't think Pacho's that good. I know obviously Liverpool were linked to him back, 18 months ago, but I just don't think. I look at that team. I do think their strongest ability is their midfield. Even though the front three are amazing, and on paper it looks amazing, because again, you've got Kvaratskhelia, you've got Dembele, you've got Barcola, of course you've got they've got Dewey, they've got Ramos, they've got so many attackers, but I think their midfield is their best ability in that team. Like, I think, again, the midfield of Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, and João Neves, I think, is a well-balanced midfield three. And then you've got Zaire Emery on the bench. You've got what's his name? Is it Lee? I think you got. I think he kind of works as an attacking midfielder if you need somebody like that. But yeah, I think their best ability is their midfield. I think their worst ability is the centre backs. I think if you get Darwin potentially running at their centre backs, I think Liverpool beat them. And And I think as well for Mo, obviously Nuno Mendes again did a very good job against him last week, but I don't know. I think if you can move Mo a little bit inwards and create that space, I think again Liverpool can exploit them in that way, of course. But again, considering the fact that PSG this season, I think in the French league, I've only conceded like 24 goals. I think it is, as I'm looking now on the sheet. Yeah, they've conceded 24 goals in the French league, scored 70, a plus 46 goal difference. But again, the fact that they are undefeated in the league, I think goes to show that they've had a very, very good season as well. But of course, I know people go, "Oh, it's the French league," but still, the PSG are a very, very good team. And even still, like if this PSG team were against Club Bruges, or whether or not they were on the other side of the group, whether or not if we had faced Benfica and Barcelona potentially played PSG, would this PSG team beat Barcelona? I think that's an interesting question, more than anything. But Tony says, "Hope you're well, Jack." PSG only side that has done that to us this year. Yeah, absolutely. Great to see different sides to our game. Can't always play like that, but in a European away, you need to sit in it deep. Yeah, well, we say that though, but considering if it wasn't for Alisson, probably we end up losing that game, maybe 2-3-0, maybe. But again, we'd have to wait and see. But I did say, again, the biggest game of the season. I should have changed this. I think it is probably our biggest week of our season. PSG at Anfield, second leg of the Champions League. It's huge. We know who, of course, we're going to play. We're either going to play Villa or Bruges, but I think all of us are probably predicting Villa. But again, this week it can be so impactful in terms of, again, beating a quality team in PSG. And then you look at the Carabao Cup final as well towards the end. Like if Liverpool were to beat PSG in fashion, for example, and then go on to win the Carabao Cup, that is huge for Liverpool. And all of us can predict that Liverpool are going to win the league, but still, in terms of the Champions League now, because again, Liverpool, we all think will go on to win the league, but still, if Liverpool can take that momentum and beat PSG, beat Newcastle on the weekend, we've got a little bit of a gap then until we play Everton. That is huge. That is a huge, huge gap. And again, the team will feel confident, and then going on to the rest of the season, getting those 15 points to win the Premier League title, and then, of course, beating Villa, and hopefully then beating either Arsenal or one of the Madrid teams. I think it could be so impactful this week for Liverpool. And yeah, look, hopefully Liverpool do come on at the end of the week, getting through in the Champions League, and of course beating Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. Anyway, but all day they get to the final. I reckon. Who do you mean, Liverpool? I think we do. I think if we get past PSG tomorrow, I think we get to the Champions League final. But long balls over the top, turn their back four. Nunes is too strong for their centre backs. I would agree, Tony. 100%. I would agree with you on that. I personally, I'm gonna go 3-1 Liverpool on the night, which will be 4-1 on aggregate. I think, even though I did, commend their defense in terms of, fullbacks, I think their centre backs, like as Tony said, long balls in behind, get at this PSG team. And I think Liverpool, I think Anfield as well, I think it'll be buzzing tomorrow. It has to be, it has to be like a proper European night, and just, make PSG crumble, really, because that's all they've gone on about ever since they lost last week, is how poor Liverpool are, how Liverpool are this, how Liverpool are that. Look, if we can put on a performance tomorrow and beat PSG at the same time, then I'll absolutely love it. And look, we'll hopefully be sat here tomorrow talking about Liverpool beating PSG anyway. But look, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, let me know your score predictions as well down in the comments. Like I said, I'm going to go 3-1 Liverpool for me. I think, 3-1, 4-1 on aggregate. I'd absolutely love that. Anyway, but yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. Just don't do what we did against Atalanta. Yeah, very much true, Cal. Hopefully you're well as well. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below. Of course, I am going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Apologies, it is a bit early. But yeah, I did say it'll be half an hour. Anyway, but look, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be live straight after the game. For the post-match reaction. That will be tomorrow. Make sure you go and check out as well on the video, on the videos tab as well, on, of course, us talking about the Adidas kit deal, I should say. Of course, we spoke about it a bit earlier on, so make sure you go back on the YouTube video as well. Cal's gone 2-1 Liverpool as well, but yeah, make sure you go back, click on that. Tomorrow as well, there'll be videos up in the day as well, probably 12 o'clock as well. I'm not decided yet where it's going to be, but there will be a video tomorrow at 12 anyway. But yeah, like I said, make sure you do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well if you could. It'd be very much appreciated. We are on the road to 2K. So yeah, obviously share it to as many reds as possible, get them in you, of course, and we'll try and get to 2K before the end of the season anyway. Hopefully we can do it anyway. But look, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Hopefully you guys, again, let me know your guys if you go into the game, enjoy the game. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. I will see you guys tomorrow, I should say, for the post-match reaction. But until then, I've been Connor from the COP Council. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra.